He never liked airports. Not because of the planes, or the noise, or the chaos. It was the way people looked at him, like he didn't belong in a place built for the wealthy, for the polished, for the flying class. But Isaiah didn't come here to fly. He came to fix what made flight possible. He was a jet mechanic. One of the best. But no one ever saw that. Not when they looked at the grease on his hands, the burn marks on his forearms, or the calluses that came from years of rebuilding what other men broke. He was always background. Invisible. The kind of man rich folks never noticed, unless the plane wouldn't start. This morning was just another job. Another private jet grounded on the runway. Another urgent request from the charter company. And another tight deadline with little respect. They said the passenger was important. No name. Just urgency. Just pressure. Isaiah didn't ask questions. That's how you stay employed in his world. Keep your head down. Get it done. Move on. But as he approached the jet that morning, he noticed something strange. The crew wasn't panicked. They were tense. Silent. Eyes sharp. Like someone important, real important, was on board. Still, Isaiah did what he always did. Opened his toolkit. Crawled under the belly of the beast. Grease on his shirt. Sweat on his brow. Focus in his bones. He worked like the machine was sacred, because to him, it was. The only thing in his life that didn't judge him. He was halfway through the repair when a pair of polished dress shoes stopped near his head. Not security. Not a pilot. The posture was different. The silence, heavier. Isaiah slid out from beneath the aircraft and sat up slowly. And there he was. A man in a tailored suit. Clean. Confident. Expression unreadable. He didn't speak right away. Just studied Isaiah with a kind of quiet curiosity. Like he wasn't expecting the mechanic to be him. "You the one fixing my jet?" the man asked. Isaiah stood, wiping his hands on a rag. "Yes, sir." "You always this focused?" Isaiah shrugged. "Jets don't forgive distraction." The man chuckled lightly. "Good answer." Then he held out his hand. Isaiah hesitated. That didn't happen often. Not from men in suits. Not from men who could buy and sell your whole street without blinking. But he shook it. Firmly. "I'm Marcus," the man said. "Marcus Lantham." Isaiah froze. He knew that name. Everyone did. Marcus Lantham, billionaire investor, philanthropist, real estate mogul. The kind of man who moved markets with a single tweet. But what struck Isaiah most was this: he didn't act like it. No arrogance. No barking. Just quiet observation. Isaiah nodded. "I didn't know it was your jet, sir." "That's the idea," Marcus said. "I don't like distractions before meetings." He looked at the plane, then back at Isaiah. "You've been working for a while. No one brought you water." Isaiah shook his head. "Wasn't expecting any." Marcus turned, said something to an assistant, and minutes later, cold water was in Isaiah's hand. Not in a paper cup. In a chilled bottle. Respect in liquid form. Isaiah almost didn't know what to do with it. "Mind if I watch while you finish?" Marcus asked. Isaiah hesitated again. I guess. If you want." "I do." He crouched, in that expensive suit, beside the jet as Isaiah returned to work. No words. Just silence. The kind that says, "I'm watching, but not judging." And Isaiah kept going. Replacing parts, checking lines, recalibrating sensors. It was a dance he knew by heart. But today, someone was watching the rhythm. "You always this thorough?" Marcus asked after a while. "Only way I know how," Isaiah replied. "You ever think of running your own crew?" Isaiah scoffed, without meaning to. "My own crew? You've got leadership in your hands. Precision. Discipline. But something tells me no one's ever offered you more than the wrench." Isaiah didn't respond. He didn't have to. His silence was truth. "I've had 20 mechanics work on this jet over the years," Marcus continued. "None of them had eyes like yours. You don't just fix engines. You understand them." Isaiah looked up, wary. "Why are you telling me this?" Marcus leaned in, serious now. "Because no one told me, either. I had to find out the hard way. That talent is invisible when it wears a blue shirt." Silence again. Then Marcus stood, pulled out a card, handed it over. "If you ever want to do more than just fix other people's dreams, call me." Then he boarded the jet. Isaiah stood there, card in hand, feeling like the ground just shifted under him. He didn't know what to do. Was it a test? A joke? A moment? He put the card in his pocket and walked away. Not because he didn't believe in the moment, but because moments like that don't happen to people like him. Until they do. Days passed. Isaiah kept the card in his wallet, tucked behind his driver's license, next to a photo of his mother. He didn't show it to anyone. Not because he was ashamed, but because he wasn't sure it was real. It felt like a glitch in the system. A slip in the code of how life normally worked for men like him. Men who knew what it meant to be overlooked. He went back to work. Same hangars. Same oil. Same overlooked hellos. Nothing changed. Except one thing. He started to imagine more. Not dreams. Dreams were for people with time and savings. He started imagining possibility. The kind that buzzes under your skin and whispers, "What if?" But with every whisper came doubt. What if it's just a card? What if he forgot already? What if it was charity disguised as opportunity? What if you call and they say, "Marcus who?" But there was another voice, louder this time. "What if this is the first time someone actually saw you?" He waited a week. Then 2. Then he called. The woman on the other end answered like she'd been waiting. "You must be Isaiah," she said. He froze. "How did you?" "Mr. Latham told us to expect your call. He said if you called within 30 days, you're serious. If you didn't, you weren't ready. You made it." Isaiah didn't know what to say. "He'd like to meet again," she continued. "Tomorrow, noon. Bring your resume." He didn't have one. Not a real one. But that night, he stayed up typing on a borrowed laptop. Years of work compressed into bullet points. He realized, for the first time, how much he'd done. Not just wrench turning. Systems analysis. Emergency repairs. Team leadership. It had never felt like a career. Until now. He walked into the meeting wearing his best button-down shirt, the one he wore to church and funerals. He ironed it twice. Clean jeans. Polished shoes. No grease. Marcus was already there. No handshake this time. Just a chair pulled out, and a nod that said let's talk. They spoke for an hour. About engines. About discipline. About being black in places where people expect you to clean up but never to lead. And then Marcus leaned forward. "I want to fund something," he said. "A startup. Veteran-led. Minority-run. Aviation tech. I've been looking for the right mind to lead the technical side." Isaiah stared. "You want me to lead it? I've seen Ivy League boys who know theory. I've seen you work with nothing but a rusted wrench and still get jets in the sky. You know what that is." "What?" "That's mastery. And it can't be taught." Isaiah sat back. No one had ever called him a master of anything. "I'm not asking you to quit today," Marcus continued. "I'm asking if you're ready to stop fixing other people's jets and start building your own." The silence that followed was heavy, sacred. And then Isaiah said 2 words. "I'm ready." That was the day his life broke open. The next 6 months moved like lightning. Business plans. legal meetings, a crash course in finance. But through it all, Isaiah remained grounded, focused. He built a small team, mostly mechanics like him. Black, brown, overlooked, undervalued. Until now. They created a company that specialized in fast-response private aviation repair. But not just repair, innovation. Isaiah had developed a system for predictive diagnostics. AI-based alerts that could detect problems before they happened. The company exploded. Clients came in droves. Investors followed. But Isaiah never changed. He still wore boots to the office. Still rolled up his sleeves. Still greeted every janitor by name. Because he remembered. He remembered the days no one saw him. He remembered what it felt like to fix billionaires' jets while they looked past him like background noise. And most of all, he remembered that no one gave him this. He earned it. He led the company with quiet strength. He paid his team well. Gave second chances to formerly incarcerated technicians. Mentored high school kids who liked machines more than books. And every month, he called his mother and told her something new that would make her cry with pride. One evening, as the company celebrated their first $1 million contract, Isaiah stood alone in the back. Watching his team laugh. Watching possibility turn into reality. And Marcus appeared beside him. "You did it," he said. Isaiah nodded. "We did it. You know," Marcus said, "I watched you work that day, not because I was curious. I was looking. For what? For someone who knows what it's like to be invisible, and still show up with excellence." Isaiah looked around the room. "That's all of us," he said. "You just gave me the chance to prove it." Marcus smiled. "Now it's your turn. Go find the next one." And Isaiah did. He made it his mission to find every overlooked mechanic, technician, engineer, and hustler who had the mind for greatness but never the platform. He built a bridge out of the same steel others tried to cage him with. The world saw a poor black mechanic who fixed jets. What they didn't see, until it was too late to ignore, was a visionary, a builder, a leader. Someone who didn't just repair engines. He repaired destinies. And all it took was one moment, one conversation, one man who saw through the grease and into the genius. Isaiah never liked airports. But now, when he walks through them, he doesn't feel small. He feels like the man who once fixed a stranger's jet and ended up taking off. Like my video and subscribe my channel for more daily videos.